Halloween
Forever.
Guys, I don't have any type of witty intro for this one. It's honestly Meg and I had a near-death experience.
We were
before
crying before this.
We almost drowned in shit. And it's not a joking matter. Welcome once again to another fucking Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm the champ.
You
And fuck you.
No, I guess we should explain why Meg and I almost drowned in shit. I saw my life flash before my eyes. Didn't expect that today, but that's what happened. So, for those of you who did not listen to last week's Modern Slasher Showdown episode, you probably should. It was a blast. It was over 3 hours long. It was animated. It was a slobber knocker. I would say a barn burner.
So heated.
But in the end, your boy Steve took home the belt for the very first time.
Yes.
So he had ammunition ready to go, locked and loaded for when we handed him the belt, and the first thing out of his mouth was Cradle of Fear, which I had never heard of, and frankly wish I still had never heard of. Do you want to talk a little bit about, so I guess we should say, if you're tuning in for the first time, or perhaps that was your first Showdown episode, when we do a Showdown episode, we pick a topic, a subgenre, whatever. We all pick our favorite movie or a poignant movie or whatever we feel that we want to defend that very closely represents that particular subgenre. We argue about it, we vote, and then ultimately someone reigns supreme. They take home the strap for that month. And to the victor go the spoils in this instance. And whoever wins gets to pick a punishment movie for the very next episode.
Now, here's the thing I will say, is it doesn't have to be a punishment movie.
It doesn't have to be.
It's just the fact that Brian...
I
made
brought
us
it upon myself.
No,
Brian
I feel
made
like
us watch...
We just are very sadistic, and we really
Yeah.
want to torture one another.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
Brian
that
made
is
us watch
part of
The
it.
Uninvited.
Listen,
But then for
Uninvited-
his second movie, he made us watch Head of the Family, which was nice. And
Yeah,
that was a fun
good.
movie. Yeah.
But you know what? Uninvited is the Shawshank Redemption compared to Cradle of Fear.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, this was just all building up. It was making me watch Uninvited, talking bad things about Community. You know, just compounding over
It was
and
a
over.
festering sore on your
Pent
soul.
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah,
Just
he,
over and over.
He went for the jugular
Mhm.
with this one. Yeah, you want to talk about this piece of shit?
Yeah, so I had to flex on y'all, just so you know not to fuck around too much.
He's like, let me send you this movie
Yeah.
Just so you
in
know,
a file.
not to
He's
fuck
like,
around
I
too much.
have it.
Yeah.
I own it so that I can torture people. If you had a pit, to like a Buffalo Bill-esque pit,
Or
you
you.
wouldn't ask them to put the lotion. You'd make them watch this movie.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
I'd
And then
rather
you'd cut
be
off their skin.
skinned, frankly, than watch this movie again. It was a just diarrhea feast.
Yes. So
It's absolute hot shit.
for those who don't know, back in 2001, the director of Cradle of Filth's music videos somehow garnered enough money to make a Cradle of Fear movie starring Dani Filth, the lead
With an
singer
I.
of...
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Danny with an I.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it two ends or one end?
One end.
One end.
Okay.
All 5'3"
Danny.
of
It's
them.
a
Is she really?
It's,
Yeah.
it's a shoulder shake, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
Yes.
guy. So I don't know much about the band. I've heard
Mhm.
of them. I remember
Okay.
they had a couple hits back in the day. Got some radio play, perhaps. I
Grandpa's
don't.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no. I don't listen to anything on the radio ever. In any case, he's got a look.
Yeah.
It's very deliberate.
And that's the stage look. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't know Cradle of Filth, they're basically gothic metal, and so they go up on stage with the corpse paint and the black leather and
But
the
they're
claws.
kind of like trying to be, because I could appreciate that and I like that aesthetic, but he was kind of somewhere between that and like the lead singer of Him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the leads and also like maybe The Crow and maybe Chris Angel Mind Freak.
Right.
Like there's a
That-
little bit of
Oh,
that
yeah,
in
it's
there
a
too.
little bit.
That's why they're considered like gothic metal
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they sing about like old like Bathory like Elizabeth Bathory tales and shit like that.
Okay.
And then like you said, he's a little kind of not effeminate, but just like
Wafy.
yeah, wafy. He's waifish and he like moves about and has that
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You guys ever seen Interview with the Vampire?
Sure,
like, let's
sure.
give,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that's the perspective.
He's a Lestat type.
He's edgelord Lestat.
Yeah, like
The amount of times I wrote edgelord in my notes, by the way,
A lot, I'm sure.
edgelord Lestat
Like, that's
is
like
way
the-
better than any descriptor I came up with.
Yeah.
yeah, like if someone came out and said he was an actual vampire, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
well,
like,
or
like
he
he's
believes
very
he's a
just like
vampire.
romantic in a way. You're just like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, before we get into this absolute horseshit garbage, we do got some spookies and some spaceys and some beers. Let's do the beers first while I open this up.
Sure. I'll go first on the beer. I'm bringing something sort of relevant to the show from Necromancer Brewing. It's called Before Swine, and it is one of their resurrection style ales. So this is a pearl ale, which was a beer supposedly not brewed with hops, but it's a dark ale with ginger, orange, licorice. And then traditionally, I guess it was brewed with wormwood, but you can't do that in America.
Yeah, I was at a distillery
God
today, and they had
damn
big giant
America.
bags of wormwood,
Mm.
which I thought was kind of wild. I figured they would need.
That
Yeah.
could totally trigger a rant on TTB for me. But anywho,
I'm a big proponent of anything anise flavored.
Yeah.
I know that's a polarizing flavor. I like black licorice. I love fennel seeds. I love
you're
anything
exposing
like
a lot about yourself
anise-y.
right now. Like
I'm 1,000 years old. Yes, that's what we get. Is I'm
he eats pistachio ice cream.
I do
and
love pistachio.
anise.
Pistachio ice cream rules. Don't
Yeah.
talk shit about pistachio.
I don't know if I
Meg,
told you
don't
guys.
talk
I
shit.
did.
Steve's already mad
I
at us.
did have the conversation with my grandmother. So shortly after we had that episode where you guys were talking about this,
Yeah.
I happened to go over to my grandmother's house and she had
Spumoni?
Yeah.
no,
She was like, Meg, you want some spumoni?
she had pistachio and cranberry
Mm.
biscotti.
Mm.
Ooh,
And I
fuck with
actually,
that.
I kind of felt bad in the way the context I was saying. I was like, Grandma, these are kind of like old people flavor.
And she was like,
she was-
bitch, I'm your grandma. You literally, it is in the name.
I've been here
No, it was
twice
just-
as long.
It was just like
Yeah.
everything came full circle. Let's
Yeah.
just say that.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
That sounds killer,
But
actually.
my grandmother having that, I was just like, yep.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely took a picture. I don't think I sent it to you guys. But I'm like, look at my grandmother has this.
I
you
love
guys are
old
old.
people cookies. I love like pizzelles.
Pizzelles are dope.
What about
Yeah.
like fig cookies? Like where like but
Anything with
actual like
dried
the pocket
fruit in, I
the
love.
pocket ones? Oh yeah.
Literally, this past weekend, we had some family in town. My mom brought over some pumpkin cookies that are like kind of like this. They're just kind of like the puffy round ones with
Like a
icing on top
mound.
from the grocery
Yeah.
store.
Oh, okay.
And it got me thinking because they were a similar shape. And my mom and I were talking about it. I love raisin cookies.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
like a West. This is like it's a. I don't want to say Midwestern, maybe not, but I've only really seen them much in the Midwest. But they're like two cookies. They're almost put together like a. I don't want to say a hot pocket,
Yeah.
but like you know,
Okay.
or like a. I'm trying to think
Jelly
of something.
donut?
Kind of, but it's like a cookie, and then they put a filling, and then they put like another thin cookie on top, and then
Yeah,
it bakes
my
into
great
one.
grandmother
Okay.
Yeah.
used to make those. Like that's like a childhood favorite
Oh, I
memory
love
of
them.
going to her house.
Mhm.
She would make those. Like they would have raisins or figs. Like that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
and
Like,
it's almost like a jelly on the inside. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
raisin
yeah, yeah.
jelly, but that's not a good way to
oh
describe
my
it.
gosh, such good memories.
But, oh, they're so,
good.
great. Anything with raisins. I'm a
Those
sucker
and
for.
like peanut butter bars she would make a lot for
Oh
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
good.
I love old people snacks, except for Necco wafers. But all right. Anisey, kind of, not really.
A little bit. No, it's more just like herbally spiced. It's not anisey, which I like a little bit more. The
Mhm.
only anise things I enjoy are basically Plinkovac, Ouzo, and absinthe.
Ooh,
So-
Plinkovac. We got some downstairs. We got some downstairs.
I
guys.
gotta go home.
Oh,
At some
God, I
point.
love the Plinky.
Meg had a reaction to what she drank, so let's ask her what's up.
What do you got there?
So I've been like wanting to like cut off the booze a little bit,
Sure,
but I
sure.
don't. But I do so many things revolving around beer. So I was out today, and I'm like, I'm gonna find some non-alcoholic craft beer because I've heard there's like some really good ones out there. But the only ones I could find.
Everyone says that. I've yet to have them, but
Right?
everyone does say there's some good ones out there.
I can give you a lead on 2 that are pretty decent.
All right.
But this is not one of them.
This is not one of them. I have Brewdog's Punk AF, non-alcoholic near beer, and I'm trying to think about it. Like, I want you guys to try. Yeah, no, it's like.
It smells like wort.
Yeah. And maybe it's that. I'm just like, it's like hoppy in a way that it's just like really, it's not aggressive, like bitter aggressive, but like, you know what I'm saying?
It smells like it's dry hopped carbonated wort.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's like, it was, I just like had a very.
It's DMS-y.
Terrible
it's under
reaction
attenuated
to it, and
tasting.
I'm not going to finish it. This is not good. That's going on the no list.
I
do have one more of their NA beers here with me.
Is it the stout?
No, it's the Nanny something.
The Nanny State.
Nanny
that
State.
one might do you better, but the stout is also shit, so...
The only one I've ever had that I liked was from Athletic Brewing Company.
Okay.
Athletic does a pretty nice job with theirs.
That
They're not
must
wordy because like they're not doing like a halted fermentation, which is how you get this wordy BMS bomb nonsense. They do some sort of like filtration that pulls the alcohol out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the other one that I've had that is good is from Two Roots in California.
Okay.
Their main...
Meg's doing what I can only describe as a cartoonish yuck face.
This is so bad.
So the Nanny State is also
Nanny
not good.
is also really bad. It's the same thing. It's like literally the same thing.
Oh yeah, it smells the same.
But so Two Roots...
I guess I'm going back
butt.
to the alcohol,
Yeah.
guys.
That's also weirdly metallic too.
Well,
Yeah.
but the Two Roots, their main goal was to make THC beers.
Yeah.
So they make a full beer, then pull the alcohol out, like
Yeah.
you're just saying, like
Right.
Athletic does, and then they introduce THC.
Yeah.
So but they also sell their NA options to states that don't have THC legality.
Gotcha.
So
I like that,
I've had
'cause
they have
That's a
decent
fun
Hellas.
model.
Yeah, they have a decent
I've
Hellas.
seen the I've been approached. I don't know who approached me about it, but they approached me about the equipment that was available for it. And I'm very intrigued by it, but I like it because I've talked on I know my other podcast about
yucky, huh?
the alcohol industry and how it can have some negative aspects of it. I obviously love beer but I love the culture around it more than I love being drunk.
Sure.
It's really just my mentality towards it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about this and it's becoming more prevalent, but I was definitely approached about the equipment. It's very expensive, but I'm still curious as a brewer.
And I think that's why, unless you're gonna go, because a brewer, like Brewdog, for example, they know that NA beer is never going to be a significant amount of their volume.
Right.
So why
That's
would
a
they
lot of
make
money.
that giant investment?
That's true. Yeah.
So they go, okay, we're gonna do the I forget what they call it, but it's basically just prematurely halting fermentation.
Okay.
There's just but I think you have to start with very low gravity first of all. I think there's a few different ways that you could do it. I've personally never made an NA beer, but I've kind of done some research on some innovation projects and for
I'm
a former
pretty sure
employer
they
on
probably
it.
did not read the session book
Yeah.
that exists out there, and that everyone who wants to drink low ABV beer, because I also do appreciate a lot of low ABV beer.
Yeah, I love low ABV beer. Some of my favorite styles are
but it takes a lot, especially if you want to go that route when it comes to making NA beer and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
Maybe I
tastes
just
like
need to start
straight
drinking
dry hopped.
kombucha, but I also feel like that's a bad idea.
I made kombucha for a while and was drinking it, and you definitely have to acclimate your system to it, or else you shit your brains out for as soon as you drink it, because you're just drinking tons of live culture lactobacillus, obviously. But I was doing it and giving people hunks of my SCOBY, for a while and stuff, and then eventually I was just like, I can't keep up with making this. Can't keep up drinking it fast enough that I was making it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of let my SCOBY get out of control until it was 4 inches thick. And then I just threw it out there in the compost pile and probably ruined a squirrel's day. I'm
a
sure.
real fat jellyfish.
Yeah, it was huge.
Kind of harkening back, I just like how they call mothers and stuff like that. So I'm just immediately thinking of one of our showdowns. And I'm just like, oh, yes,
well,
mother.
that gave me diarrhea too. In any case,
Sourdough mother.
Man, dude, you're fucking toilet takes a beating.
It really does.
Legit.
It really does.
Man.
In any case, enough about my bowels. Let's hop into the beer that I'm drinking, which is a classic, Weinstefan, their Fest beer. It's the best beer. I like. They're most famous for their Hefeweizen. Old, they claim to be the oldest brewery in the world, oldest continuing operating brewery in the world. I think maybe that's their claim to fame. One of my favorite breweries. But I do like to drink the Hefeweizen more because there's nothing more fun to say than Weinstefan Hefeweizen. This is just the Fest beer, though, which is fantastic.
You instantly jump into Lederhosen when you say that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. For a second, I morphed into Lederhosen.
Yeah.
It starts taking your body over like Venom. Just the straps come over your shoulders and
the feather starts growing out of your scalp for the hat that's not there yet. This is a Fest beer, which is kind of a pale version, compared to a Märzen style Oktoberfest paler, and think of it as like a more well-hopped, higher ABV Helles.
I totally just saw this argument on Facebook.
Yeah.
Someone went on
That's
Craft
what
Beer
Facebook
Professionals that they were like, when can we stop calling Fest beer Märzen? And I'm just like, oh wow, dang dude, you're going for the throat today. You're
that
like
BJCP is really leaking into your online life. The BJCP style guideline.
somebody woke up and chose violence. That's what
he
it was.
definitely did.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't call your October. Yeah, I think I saw that post because he was like, "Don't call your Oktoberfest. That is a Märzen, a Fest beer. That's a different thing."
That's
Shut
awesome.
up, you fuck. Listen, I studied that exact type of thing every day for multiple years preparing for the Master Cicerone exam. I am an absolute, I have been at times in my life that guy, but don't bring it to the social media. Come on. Don't inflict,
Keep it in
don't
the
inflict
bedroom.
this thing
Keep it
you've
in the
chosen
bedroom.
to do to yourself.
Right.
Don't inflict that on others. Let them enjoy their beer.
Because who knows who all's in that group?
Yeah.
And just like you're going to get opinions of idiots and people who don't know, and then people who do know, and then people who just simply disagree.
Well, and then
It's
all
a
of a
waste of
sudden, now somebody who jumped into there because they just got into beer recently are like, well, beer people are douchebags.
That too.
Which
But then I
They're
also
not
saw floating
wrong.
around recently as everyone's going after Sam for a comment he made probably over
I
10.
love that one.
Oh, it's
People were
just
getting
like-
Dogfish Head shit, because they posted something because what was it, an anniversary of theirs or something?
Maybe, I don't know what
But
it
they
was.
posted the craft beer is 99% asshole free thing.
Yeah.
And the
I'm
people were like, why are you going to say that now when like all this like
Yeah.
stuff about equality and everything's happening in craft beer? And we're like, no, that's a quote from literally when they started.
yeah, I heard that quote 10 years ago.
I think that's
Like
the idea.
10
They
years ago.
pulled up a logo or a post from
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. But I also
15
get though,
years
because
ago.
I mean, even I'm like,
It was a little
okay,
tone deaf,
we
that's
don't,
fine,
yeah,
but-
like we don't need to go into it. It's just like, yeah, it was a quieter time then because we weren't talking about the issues. But I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about the issues now. But it's just like when I saw them coming at him, I'm like, you guys are taking this out of context. All these noobs in the industry. I'm just like, stop. Like, I don't know. Did Dogfish had originally post that? Because that's what I'm confused about.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
that
think,
might have been just a bad look on them. Be like,
yeah.
Yeah, it was
time and place.
it was
guys.
slightly
Time and
tone deaf,
Yeah.
but like if you understand it in the context of like this is one of the like quotes or taglines or whatever that were associated with the early days of craft beer. So I get it. It's a little tiny
Yeah.
bit tone deaf, but like okay, you're also looking to be outraged a little
Right.
bit. I think maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Outraged
I
or
just
also-
think it's like because I just feel like that comment's coming from people who haven't been in the industry that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That-
probably
that's
They
more
don't
so
have the
it.
context.
They don't
Yeah.
have the context.
They don't have the context, or they're just trying to make their bones off somebody they see as like a big competitor.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
probably actually a bigger part, honestly.
Yeah, let's run them up the flagpole.
All
and
right,
get
guys,
them
we're
around.
getting way too
I
political
know.
right
I
now.
know.
We need
Listen,
to
we got
stop.
we got spices and we got spookies.
I am a video ready for me.
That's our comment. That's our 1-star review.
Right.
Our first 1-star review is they talked about politics and beer. Fuck you. This is free.
We can do what the
Just kidding.
fuck we want.
Just kidding. Appreciate you listening.
When we get to a Patreon, we'll put a horror only talk episode out for you.
Probably not though. So what we have for the spices, which Meg has been sweating bullets in preparation for, we got ourselves some Blue Diamond Extremes Carolina Reaper, and this is the hottest 4-alarm flavor.
You know what I loved about it though is that I didn't really realize that was going to be your snack today, and we were sitting around BSing.
Yeah, we were sitting around
I
my kitchen there.
Looked over and I'm like, "Is that your snack for tonight?" And I was like, "No."
Meg thought she was coming to a safe space.
It can't be.
This is not a safe space.
So.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know. We'll see.
All right.
I'm going to grab 2 because I like to party.
I'm not an almond person, so I don't like almonds.
I feel like
really?
you know what also
My
would have
daughter
been a
doesn't like almonds
complimentary snack is if you would have brought me olives.
Listen, I'll bring you some olives. You want olives? I'll bring you olives. I love olives.
Do you have olives?
No, not currently.
I could have brought them. Okay.
All right, we're hopping
You know what?
in.
That almond didn't suck because
All right.
the reason why I hate almonds is they're often too dry and just like hard to chew.
Sure.
That one actually had a nice crunch to it. I didn't hate that.
Mm.
Meg is going to be upset, I think.
Yeah, these are pretty hot.
I'm up for 2 though.
We're all patiently watching. They're not like melt your face off. I'm
No.
going to die. But
No,
you
but
can
I-
tell after half that can, you'd be sweating.
That's going to build on you so
Yeah.
bad.
No, it's building. I wish I would have
Well, on
eaten
you,
one
bad,
on the
very
other
bad.
side of my mouth
Mhm.
to like evenly coat it.
Yeah, that is
See,
something
but
that's
it-
going on
ugh.
with me too. Like just
No.
one
It's
part of my
hitting
tongue.
me right in the dead center back of my tongue.
Yeah, just
No.
wherever it went in,
It's
wherever
like- it's
it
like
went
Guys,
touched down.
guys, Meg's having an
It's
episode.
slowly hitting like the back of my
Mhm.
throat. Mm.
She is turning
Wait,
very
you said
red.
you had a follow-up snack you need to expose now so I can eat it.
Oh, okay.
I need
Hold on, let me clean my fingies off.
I'm so upset with you right now. I'm going to fucking murder you.
We also have, these are Skittles Shriekers.
Taking his time over here.
You're drinking a beer. That has to be more. Skittles are not going to be refreshing. They're sour. They're going to set your mouth on fire more, probably.
Well, if she gets a bad one.
Stop! Give me sweets.
Okay.
They're
So these.
also sweet though, okay?
Well,
I get
they
they're
are,
sour.
but one. This is the whole idea: is an unknown number of these.
Oh god, beer did not help.
Here, help yourself. An unknown number of these Skittles are supposed to be like super sour.
Mhm.
So, but they look the same as all the rest of them.
It's a real roulette, I guess.
Yeah, that's the idea. I
Okay,
think.
I was waiting on to start.
But the flavors they have are spine tingling tangerine, ghoulish green apple, rattled raspberry, shocking lime, and citrus green.
Yeah, no, I needed that.
Yeah, is it helping?
Yeah, because I'm getting the 2 I just started with are sweet,
Yeah.
so it's calming it. You're good.
I feel like if something was super sour right now, I couldn't even tell
Mhm.
because my mouth's kind of burning. Yeah, they do help.
Hmm?
They definitely help to tame the heat a little bit.
I went through 3 grape
Better now?
ones. No sour.
Yeah, I don't have any sour either yet.
I'm okay now.
They're good though. I absolutely fuck with some Skittles. Love a Skittle.
Oh yeah, no,
Love a
I
Skittle.
told you when I
Marshawn
saw
Lynch
them,
knows.
I got a king size bag from Sheetz the other day. It's pretty bomb.
Yeah, you are also drinking a like 7% IPA. That's
Oh, yeah.
probably the alcohol is exacerbating things quite a bit. The capsaicin.
Super bitter too. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the fest beer is you might want to slug on one of them NA beers. Maybe that'll straighten
Ugh.
you out.
That was sour.
You got a sour one? Yeah, your eyes started violently twitching.
Mhm.
the sour Skittles having more effect on her than the hot thing now. She was just, yeah, these are really helping. And all of a sudden she's like,
This thing can't swallow them. It's like, get it out of my mouth.
now I want to try the sour one.
Yeah,
If it's that
I didn't
sour.
get any of those.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get any sour of the ones that you gave me.
No, that was sweet too. All right. I'm going to keep eating them as we're talking and then hopefully just get nailed with a sour one as we go. So
I'm just gonna munch on some of these pumpkin seeds in the meantime.
we've got
too.
the pleasantries out of the way. Let's get to the real
Oh
pain
god.
of the evening.
Social media plugs?
Oh, yes, which is social media plugs. No, thank you for the reminder because I always forget. So let's get into why this is going to be important specifically for October. First of all, if you don't already, check us out on the social medias. We have Halloween is Forever on Instagram, at Hallow Forever on Twitter, Halloween's Forever podcast on our Facebook page, and at I'm sorry, I always say ad. Hello, there's no ad at the beginning of email addresses. Halloween is foreverpod@gmail.com. You are always more than welcome, in fact, encouraged and much appreciated if you throw us some ideas for topics, for minisodes, main episodes, showdown episodes, whatever, via one of those outlets. But particularly important in this context because we got a little something called spooky season upon us. It is mid-September officially at this point. It is full-on spooky season in my mind. Pretty darn quick. It is going to be October, which is going to bring us to our October showdown. And what we've decided to do, rather than pick 3 random topics from our list for October, which, let's face it, October, it's the WrestleMania of the show.
It is my Christmas.
Yeah.
What?
So we are going to pick our own 3 topics that are very Halloween themed from that list that we already have. But we are going to throw in some randomizing and some voting in here, and I'll explain to you how we're going to do it. The October main event, WrestleMania of the podcast, is going to be a roulette showdown. So what that means is we're going to throw 3 topics out there, 3 spooky season themed topics for you for October. You, our social media friends, listeners, are going to vote. We would much appreciate that. You can tell us of those 3 topics which one you dig. Then we are going to put together a list of random movies, some of them good, maybe some of them not so good. We shall see. Associated with that particular topic, we're going to spin the old online roulette wheel, and we're going to figure out who is forced into defending, or perhaps awarded into defending a particularly good movie, or, like I said, maybe a bad one. So here are our topics, right? So first one. Best or worst, perhaps, of the Halloween franchise. So we would throw every movie that is in the Halloween franchise onto that wheel, spin it 3 times. We'll each get assigned one of them. We got to discuss it. We got to defend it in a showdown scenario. Or, second option, John Carpenter films. We were just talking about this one. John Carpenter, my favorite director. He's got several of my favorite films of all time, including my favorite one of all time, but he also got a couple 2 tree stinkers in there, which you might have to deal with if the gods do not shine upon you, if the spooky gods, the harvest gods do not shine upon you. Lastly, spooky season horror, a little bit more of a catch-all. It is any film, and we decided that we are each going to pick 6, and we can make them good, we can make them bad, but we are each going to pick 6 horror movies that are set at or around or themed Halloween spooky season related. And we will throw those on the roulette wheel. So
I'm just going to choose all the Halloween Town movies.
Yeah. I'll happily defend that shit.
Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Halloween Town 2, Halloween Town 3, Halloween Town High. I'm sure you guys don't even fuck with Halloween Town High.
I think I've only seen the first one, honestly. But
I don't
knew
know
there was
any
a
of
bunch.
these.
I watch them all with my kids. But so roulette, we're going to have a roulette October spooky season showdown. So take a peek and keep an eye out for that on the social medias where you can vote coming up here. So now now we've got that out of the way. There's nothing else we got to really talk about.
Nope.
We're ready to get into this goddamn shit sandwich.
Yeah.
So Steve, I'll hand it over to you. And I'll just sit here I'm a form of grief, I think, is what I'm experiencing after having to watch this
I'm
piece of
just
shit.
I feel like throughout the entire movie, I'm just going to throw this out there and I'm going to play a game. Is this a goth porn or is it a horror movie? And I think it's a little bit of both.
You know what? The best movies straddle that line.
It's a little bit of both. But yes, again, we watched 2001's Cradle of Fear, directed by Alex Chandon.
On YouTube.
I had a copy. Wink.
That's wild.
Yeah. So did this ever get any type of... I assume it never got like a theatrical release or anything like that.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting passed around under grandma's like folder, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
it was getting passed around. Man, like if you look on for Amazon, it's like $46 for a DVD.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
It's because there's only 4 of them in existence.
Right, yeah. Nobody watches this shit.
Yeah,
But
they
yes,
are all being sold by Chris Angel Mind Freaks
Right.
eBay page.
Yeah, and dudes with hands up their asses.
Oh my god.
Edgelord the movie
Edgelord.
for sale,
Edgelord.
$46.
So yeah, this movie is a stinker.
And it's
is.
a 2 hour long.
I was 10 minutes towards the end, and I just had to text the guys and be like, "Does this fucking ever stop?" Because I feel like it goes on, and you just feel it.
It
Yeah.
is the most incompetently made film that I could recall offhand quickly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was abducted by aliens while watching
Yes.
it. I think
Yeah.
I lost time.
Yes, it is definitely a time sink. It makes no sense. It bends time. I was doing other things while I was watching it, and I was like, how is this movie still on?
Yeah.
I was busy. Like, why?
Like YouTube said it was 2 hours, but I swear on my life it was not a second under 5 hours.
hmm
I think because of and we'll probably touch on a lot of the ridiculousness of this
Yeah.
movie, but I feel like it's because of the certain emphasis they would put on certain scenes and how they would elongate things. It just
yeah.
that aided in you're like, you didn't need to do that for 10 minutes. You could have done that in 2.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know,
So
there's a lot of that.
just to give a quick overview of what the movie is, it's hard to explain because it makes no sense. It's poorly written and it's garbage, but it's a series of vignettes where you follow people around jolly good old England, and you know what? You're going to get real mad at me for the rest of this episode because I got some things to say.
Oh, I just got a sour one.
Please see. Is it aggressive?
It is aggressive. It's like you're saying it's sweet, and all of a sudden it's like a warhead in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually had warheads not too long ago, probably within the last 6 months, and I didn't hate them. And I'm
I
gonna
love
say
a worm.
I would bring them the next time.
Blue Res is a good warhead.
I fuck with
Anywho,
the rest.
I feel like you need to speak in this English accent.
Not the entire time, but when I need to reference somebody on the crew, I will do an impression of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
perfect.
I mean, I already hate
So-
you, so you might as well.
Yeah, no, there is no look. We're eating super sour snacks, super hot snacks, really shitty movie.
We're gonna brand ourselves at some point
it's
here.
Super, yeah, it's just a super bad.
It's just
death cult.
self-hatred episode here.
But yeah, you get these little vignettes, and then there's this loose tie using Dani Filth of Cradle of Filth again to tie everything together, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
I actually wanted to ask you guys, what do you think happened in this movie?
Well, because the wraparound was him.
But the rapper was also
But there
the
was
guy
also
in
the cop.
Well, yeah, okay. So the cop was always intertwined in every single
The cop who
almost
grabs the victim's
anthology
boobs.
Yeah.
sorts type shit going on. But the
Inspector
guy in the
Copperfield.
jail, I feel like the guy in the jail was also slightly tied to it. So he was just there was somehow someone was always feeding each character that was part of each series in this fucking movie. That something was feeding it to them to bring Dani to them. But I feel like somehow the guy in the jail, maybe all the poorly written paper, maybe that was part of it because I couldn't read all of them. So that's what
Right.
I was just
I didn't even
hinting
try.
is that
Didn't
yeah,
even try.
I think he's somehow tying it together too.
So,
He's
yes.
fuck with these people.
So
But also, how did he know them?
That's
You
I
paid
don't
closer
think that
attention
ever-
than me.
I don't think that ever got explained. How did he know them? But
Yeah.
I'm
it
sure
was
the
their
last
names.
guy was the cop's son, of course. So that was an easy one.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
yeah.
cop's son.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, I was really paying more attention than all of
No,
you
I knew that
guys.
one. The cop,
That
the guy
section
who had,
is so fucking boring. To me
yeah,
that I
that
skip
is
it.
the one that
Yeah.
dragged because it was
Mhm.
kind of a. I mean, again, Edgelord the movie, right?
Right.
So it's like dark web. This was 2001, so like
Right.
the whole web was the dark web, I think
Yeah.
back then. But yeah, he was going to some in extreme murderous snuff
Pay to
film
murder.
porn
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
And you do ultimately find out he was the cop's son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one that I guess with the first couple, I'm trying to think of the timeline of when the guy in the jail was feeding those notes up to Dani. Because I feel like the first kill, you don't even understand. You're just
The first
we're
kill
in
might
a
have just been
goth
Dani
bar.
as horny.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah, he's I almost thought that it could have gone a direction where he was going to impregnate this woman with
He
his
did.
spawn, which he did.
did.
Yeah.
He did.
It
And
was
I
the
was
only
just
part of the movie that was even
Yeah.
vaguely entertaining.
yeah, I was like,
Was the
oh,
spider
this
baby.
makes sense. Maybe the whole movie is about Dani Filth impregnating women, and this is
Yeah.
just the Cradle of Filth tour.
For a
I don't
hard
fucking know.
second, for a quick second, I almost texted you guys hey, I'm kind of on board for this now.
Right.
but it lasted 45
Yeah,
seconds.
But the second, I think okay, so the first kill was that one. The second kill was the 2 girls. The third kill was the amputee fucking bullshit. Which
Oh my god, I
was
forgot
sending
about that
I
one.
was just like sending small clips to friends, and I was like, guys, I'm pretty sure this is like an amputee
All right, I have
board.
thoughts on that one.
Okay.
We haven't got there. I have thoughts on this one.
We were jumping around so much.
No, that's fine.
So does the movie. What does it matter? Like,
Yeah, it's
it's
not like there's any, like-
incomprehensible nonsense.
Yeah.
So
I wrote down later, I affirmed this. The guy puking in the first 2 minutes is the best performance of the movie.
I almost think that was real puke.
Yeah.
I think they did
Yes.
something to make it real puke.
I'm pretty sure that dude is one of those people that just has that reflex.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he can make himself
Because
puke.
later
that one
people
was-
were just like spitting mouthfuls of things in the toilet.
Oh yeah,
and like fake, but like that dude was puke.
And there's
I know,
another one
'cause
where
it was
a cop was
it
just
was like the follow up puke that you're like, yep, no, I understand that. I've
Yeah.
been drunk a few times.
Mhm.
There was another one where there was like a cop in an alleyway and he's just like throwing cupfuls of shit on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even see it come out. He's just like,
Yeah.
they gave me a prop. Dump.
So aggressive, like the level of comic book zwip zap zoop
Oh, it was the
sounds
sound design fucking
was
awful.
so strange.
It
like
was odd. I did feel that too.
it was almost like at first I was like, are they going for like a weird graphic novel,
Mhm.
The Crow, Sin
was
City
just
type
bad.
of thing? No, I just
It's
think
just
they were
bad.
bad at
I
it.
was trying to look up the soundtrack. I mean, I couldn't really find it on Spotify, but I found it on Discogs, and I was just like, okay, these are a lot of names. There's only like surprisingly only 2 Cradle of Filth songs
Yeah.
in it, which I was like, okay, that's actually kind of good. The Ego Trip was off the table, but still, it was just like I felt like everything was like poorly placed and just didn't make. It was like confusing at times. You're just like. It makes you feel uneasy, honestly. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Like, maybe I was just like, wait, okay, I thought the vibe was this, and then now they're changing the tone of the music to like
It is-
almost too purposefully.
It is so baffling to me because so the selling point of the film obviously is the association with Cradle of Filth.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you would think they would have some sort of connection with somebody who has engineering talent.
Yeah,
to
you
not-
have audio people.
Yeah.
You're a well-known band.
So like any song that isn't Cradle of Filth is just like dreck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is just
It's
worse.
like this weird like industrial filler music.
Yeah.
It was very
They were
weird.
all
like,
remixes. Most
Yeah.
of them were remixes,
Yeah.
by the way, too. Like, that's what I
It's-
call
it's
the
like-
Discogs.
Yeah, it's like the industrial music you would expect to hear on like CSI in the background.
Uh-huh.
or like
Yeah.
Siphon Filter, the video. You know,
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like PlayStation, some sort
Yeah.
of bad PlayStation futuristic war or racing game or
Right.
something like that from like 2000. I also wrote down, this is what happens when Gene Simmons, Chris Angel Mind Freak, and the lead singer of Him huff paint and watch The Crow. This is what came out.
I'm
With the-
pretty sure you should replace the IMDb on with that.
I think that's what's on the DVD case. I assume something along those lines.
We let Chris Angel huff paint.
Let's
and then
just
gave us a
remake-
script.
Oh,
The credit sequence was so much.
It's
In the
so
beginning?
it's so eyesore.
It honestly, I
Yeah.
almost had a
It was-
seizure
yeah,
from the
it was
credits.
It's
terrible.
such an eyesore.
Yeah.
it was just like bloody at first, and then just like whoosh, whoosh,
But it's so choppy and like
Yeah.
erratic, and like I said, the edgelord aspect. Every single thing they do is just trying to take it to like this most extreme
Yeah.
level.
This is so badass. And it's
Yeah.
like it's worse than have you either of you seen Enter the Void by Gaspar Noé?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard of it because I've heard. I feel like I've heard those two.
I feel like I'm just stealing
all
is there a
those
movie
words in
called
a sentence
Void?
together.
Yeah.
Sure. The credit sequence to that is like really super jarring and
Mhm.
like flashing and everything.
Sure.
This credit sequence is like the bargain bin version of that credit sequence
Gotcha.
for
Oh,
anybody who
jeez.
gets it.
Sure. This guy, the titular mind freak, Dani Filth,
Yeah.
he makes John Micklethor look like George C. Scott. Like he is a pro. It feels he just has that same like weird musician, wanted to turn filmmaker, actor, like vibe to him.
I don't even think he wanted to do this film though. I think he did it as like as a favor to
Really?
his
I
music
thought-
video director.
You might be right. For some reason in my head, because you know more about the movie and the background of it. For me, in my mind, I was injecting that this was like a vanity project for him.
Mm.
But you might be right. It might have been just doing it.
I think
Because
he did it
now
as a
you're
favor.
saying that it was his music, his video director who made this
Yeah.
movie. In my whole head the whole time, he made the movie.
Yeah, I feel like because like the idea of Cradle of Filth and like the image they project, that it always has such this vanity associated with it. But I've heard from multiple people, and I haven't personally confirmed this, but like with interviews, you're kind of like, okay, I like him a little bit more. Like I hate him a little bit less. Yeah. Actually, more so. It's probably the better phrasing of it.
So I'll say, and it doesn't speak to any kind of relationship or anything. Just maybe you can draw a conclusion. The only thing that Alex directed after this movie that involved Cradle of Filth was the 2001 music video for Her Ghost in the Fog. And then he doesn't do their videos anymore after that. And they still play today. So
Yeah.
Perhaps this was
he burned some bridges with this movie.
Perhaps there was a souring with this because it stinks.
We were joking. Kate was kind of like not paying attention. This is all we were watching this on the couch for obvious reasons. And I referred to the like industrial goth club that they're in at the beginning when eventually I keep wanting to call him John Micklethor now. The man is what he's called in the script. He takes the woman to the back room and blah, blah, blah. The first murder happens. I kept calling it Club Milady. Because I just felt like these guys, they all dress like this at the club, but they all wear fedoras to work.
Yeah.
Why did he keep some of the decisions? I don't even know why I'm asking why. I mean, I know the answer is why, because it's all horseshit. But like, I did get it felt very Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the way that he just smashed and threw shit when he was done with it. Like it starts right off the bat. I wrote it down, and there's a sequence later that I wrote down too. But like when he's in the room with the girl and she like starts taking her clothes off and is like seducing him, or he's seducing her, I don't know which.
Wait, I have a comment about that too, but keep going.
And then he's got like a drink in his hand. And he just goes, like, smash. He just throws it on the ground and smashes it. And it reminds me of when Master Shake like will throw the phone and it'll explode.
It explodes, yeah.
That is such a good comparison. No, what I was going to comment about that specific scene was that it was so off-putting wherever they had the mic when she was undressing. Did you guys notice the pleather that you could hear the entire time? It was just like...
Yeah.
I was like, why?
See, that's an aphrodisiac for me, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought it was so ridiculous.
I like also another little production. This was a decision. This wasn't even like a snafu. Is like I was thinking to myself, some movies use like darkness or rain or whatever to like kind of mask the look of poor effects.
Yeah.
In this movie, they just literally used a strobe light.
Yeah. So the lighting is another interesting thing about this film. You get the strobe light.
Yeah.
Or you have two other choices: blue light or the sun.
Yeah.
It's like they went to the cinematographer and said, "So what kind of lighting package do you have?" And he goes, "Well, we got the sun. S1."
So choice A1 is the sun.
We got the sun.
My British accent is Michael Caine, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yours is too posh.
Yeah.
Way too posh for this production.
I gotta get more cockney. I'll try harder.
And then my cousin, he got this blue light over. I can set that up in the back. It's pretty spooky, eh?
It's pretty spooky, eh? If you want me to spook it up a little bit, get the blue light out.
But it's always backlights or two backlights, never a fill, never a key light. And it's like if you see something that looks like a key light, it was probably something that was in the house to begin with, like a lamp. Like, I guess I can use this then.
I love that. I imagine them actually taking a lamp with a lampshade and pointing the lampshade to direct the light.
I just feel like you have such an intense look when you go into this like mode of like doing this accent.
Know that
it's
like, not just Steve's voice that goes cockney,
like,
it's his whole persona.
Yeah.
Former life stuff.
My favorite sequence, probably the whole movie, was when after she is, I guess, impregnated by a spider baby demon. I don't know. But she's walking in the street and she's getting all the like looks, and the people in the masks are staring at her and saying creepy things and stuff. But pretty much in every shot, you also see a bystander stare directly down the barrel of the camera. Yeah. I love that. I couldn't get enough of it.
I feel like we can't do enough justice to this in the format that we're doing it right now.
Mhm.
But this film would be so great for like a Mystery Science Theater 3000.
So good.
There are so many small little mistakes throughout the
to
film that
point
are
out.
just hilarious.
I honestly,
Yeah.
this would be a fun movie to watch with like a group of friends and get stoned and watch it. It's not a
Oh,
fun
it's going
movie
on the
to
list
sit
now.
by
I now
yourself and
own
watch
it.
on the...
Jesus.
Oh, you purchased it?
No.
Oh.
He sent it to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
he sent it to us.
I was gonna say, wait, you paid money for this? I also thought it was really funny. I couldn't help but comment, and we're only like 10 minutes into this.
Oh my
movie.
God, yeah,
we
this
don't
is
have to.
gonna be a
We're
long
obviously not going to go
episode.
through the whole
Yeah, this is
thing.
gonna
We're
be
like
long.
20 minutes in, but I love the idea of when she goes to her friend's house because she's like, okay, I got to get there, and she needs a cigarette or whatever, and she gets there, and the friend pulls out a bottle of vodka and a bottle of Diet Coke, and then they just drink the vodka straight and never open it.
that was
And I was
weird
like,
too.
it's just
But she
looking at
also
the Diet
offered
Coke
her
enough for a
tea.
chaser
Yeah.
for
Did
you?
you catch that she also offered her tea
Yeah.
to start?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Her,
so
her friend had no plans to start day drinking like that.
Yeah.
But she goes whole hog into it. She
Yeah, she
pulls
goes-
herself a half pint, not even like a shot.
like
and then she
maybe
just
I'll
drinks it
chase
straight.
this. But I feel like that was also like a funny placement for the Coke that I thought that maybe that was like, here's some advertising bucks.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
No, and also, yeah,
No, you
they
gotta
were
use
not.
it. You gotta use it.
Let's be clear. Coke was not on board.
No.
Yeah, nor was anybody in the world. This is right around the time. So this is when the spider baby's born. A weird little. It's a doll. It's a plastic doll with spider legs that comes out, and I'm like, for this quick moment, I was like, okay, I'm on board. Like my whole attitude for this flick has changed, and I'm having fun now.
Right.
And then the very next comment is, "Fuck this movie."
Yes.
Like,
No, but yeah, I don't know how far we can jump ahead with this, but like once you like after she clearly the fucking spider baby comes out, she stabs herself. She isn't fully dead, but the cop that comes in, Dr. Titty Twister.
Yeah.
Let's like be real about it. I don't know what else to call
Well,
him. Or
he's
detective,
also-
excuse me. Detective.
well, what did you call him?
I said Inspector Copperfield.
Oh, yeah. It's really, and then they like try to say like, oh, this is a thing that he does that helps him to like see what happened to her, connect with the victim. But then they
I
don't
put
really.
that around quotes
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
But then they never
Like-
really revisit it.
No.
Right. No. Because
Well,
what
they
does he
do-
do if it's a guy? Like, what do they do if it's a guy?
Yeah,
They revisit it at the end.
they massage. I was gonna say something very vulgar.
Puts his finger, checks the prostate.
I was gonna say massages the prostate.
Hey,
Cup him.
hey.
Cough, too.
Yeah.
So the whole story behind that is, and it's like it's hard to hear when they talk about it because everything is mic'd poorly.
Mhm.
But so he cops a field to check to see if she's still alive.
Mhm.
So I guess
I'm
he's
pretty
feeling her
sure
heart.
it's on the neck.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's there.
And the thing is, he does
I'm not
that
a
at the
doctor.
end. He does that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He does it
He
to the guy.
does.
He
He
checks the
does.
pulse. Yeah.
Does it to the guy he shoots. So there he has
Why
no
do you
reason.
grab his balls, dude?
Yeah, but there's a whole this macabre backstory that he was after some girl who was being raped and tortured,
Mhm.
and then when he found her, he didn't check to see if she was still alive, so she wound up in the morgue freezer, woke up in morgue freezer, and then died for real.
I'm pretty
He
sure
blames
before
himself.
they put people like I don't know. Listen, I'm not I'm pretty sure people being buried alive or put in a morgue freezer that doesn't really happen anymore. I feel like a couple people need to pronounce you dead, and one of them isn't the cop.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
was the case in 2001 too.
Yeah,
You know, I'm pretty sure.
it was only 20 years ago.
It was only 20 years.
Like
ago.
I know once upon a time people were like buried with like a string going down through a tube to their
Sure.
casket so they could ring a
Yeah, in
bell
the
if they
80s,
woke up.
right?
Yeah.
Is that what they did in the 80s?
I think in the 1880s, yeah. But now, don't think so. I
No.
think somebody's got to declare you dead.
Plus, Britain has like a national health system. They're pretty decent.
They're giving
with
a
the way
bad
they
rap
take-
for universal health care for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, they're pretty good at what they do. This guy just, I don't know. There was incredible falling throughs.
There
A lot
was
of people dropped the ball.
There were so many weird like where I would just see a scene and it was just like an inconsequential scene, and I'm like, this doesn't look like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a shot on video like infomercial or something.
It looks like a 2-hour commercial for a haunted house.
Yeah, it seems like a commercial. Like I feel like I'm watching some sort of like public access shot on video commercial for local business or something, or
Like
a
when-
set of steak knives.
Yeah.
Like it's so strange.
Like when they go to the asylum and you meet the old guy, and I think his name's Kemper.
yes,
but
they use so many annoying like obvious references to
And it's always so much more annoying when the movie's bad.
Yeah.
Because there's like the
It's
reference.
not. It's you suck and you're trying to be clever.
Right,
Yeah.
because they use Kemper, which is a reference to Edmund Kemper, the serial killer.
Sure.
They say he's also like a relative of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, they say he's like
Mhm.
the
Oh, yeah, I
grandson
heard
of
that.
Aleister Crowley
Yeah.
or something. Like, what
There's
the
a
fuck
there's
are
a
you talking
doctor's
about?
sign that has Dr. H. West on it.
I feel
Oh,
like
I missed
okay,
that. That
okay.
would have really pissed
I'm
me
not
off.
gonna lie. I feel like the Aleister Crowley bit could have worked if they leaned fully into it. Like his name wasn't Kemper, but they they based him more off of like they could have leaned more into it. I'm just saying they could have. I could have been on board.
Yeah.
But I feel like it bounced around too much, got too mystical in a way. I feel like it was maybe I don't know.
There's
whatever.
literally nothing they could have done that I would have been like, well, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even if they would have had like something rad happen, I would have been like, no, it
legit-
sucks because these people suck
Everything
so
else.
bad.
I legit
Yeah.
just want to jump to the fucking amputee licking scene.
Sure.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's literally like where I feel like everything needs to go right now. Is like
it is
nothing
the
else
most
is relevant.
interesting after the baby.
I
so.
was just like,
Yeah,
oh my
you're
god,
right, you're right.
like that's caught my most attention. I'm going to talk about the scene. This is where we bring back the goth porn into it. And that the woman, did you notice that like in that sex scene that like she was wearing a cross that I felt like was a bit ironic?
Yeah.
I was just like, you don't really seem like a churchgoer.
So,
she
to be
was so
fair-
bad.
To be fair.
Every vignette has boobs. So
Oh yeah.
so it's like softcore.
So it's a slasher, is what you're
Yeah.
So
saying.
we
Yeah.
probably could have used this as a modern slasher.
Yeah,
honestly.
they won, obviously.
No,
It
it was
probably
2001. It didn't.
No, that was our category though.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's just
it-
1 year
yeah,
after.
yeah. It would have worked.
1
It
year
would work.
after.
It was
Yeah,
perfect.
it
It's the
could have
perfect
worked.
modern slasher.
It had at least more than Hush. Wink.
Oh, right before you shut up, you sons of bitches. It's open wounds. So here, right before we get into the stump licking, did anybody notice the homeless guy that gets hit by the guy, the amputee guy in his car when he's driving?
Dropped a Stella Artois.
He did have a Stella, and then I had to explain because Kate was like, "Why is he drinking Stella? Like that's kind of that's not what you think of as like
Maybe it's
a
not as
homeless
bougie over
person's
there
beer."
though.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
their Bud Light.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It is the absolute like most. Yeah, it's like bottom of the barrel cheap beer in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. But
No, but I was kind of
anyway,
confused.
he
I feel like
looks
there was
like
a
a
lot
British
of focus.
Kyle Mooney was what I was about to say.
okay.
That guy, go back. I swear, for a quick second, I'm like, is that? Of course, it's not 2001. There's no way it's Kyle Mooney. But that's how much I feel like
Yeah.
he looked like Kyle Mooney for a second.
I felt like there was a lot of emphasis on that I feel like they didn't come back to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
they
what I mean?
don't-
Like they're like because at that point I was like I remember not fully paying attention to that specific scene, and I was just like, wait. For the little that I'm paying attention right at this exact moment, there's a lot of like focus on this guy that's laying on the road, and we're not coming back to him, or we're not even like.
There's a
"Hey,
lot
you
of-
okay? You okay? You
There's
okay,
a
bud?"
lot of focus on inconsequential shit in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
like, Kate did at one point because she wasn't paying attention at all, but she would look up every once in a while and be like, "What is this horse shit you're watching?" And then she like left the room, like went and did something, came back. She was like, "Are you still watching this piece of shit movie?" And she looks up and he's just gratuitously stabbing a cat. She's like, "Oh yeah, I see that you are watching this piece of shit movie."
I was a little upset because I was like going back. Sorry, I don't want to diverge on that scene because I was like, at times I was like one of the few scenes I was like, is that, like the transition between a real and fake cat was a little bit blurred, and I was a little bit worried that maybe he actually killed a cat in that scene.
He is enough of a douchebag edgelord where, like, if he did something like that, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely it wasn't the case. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a gratuitous, completely inconsequential edgelord dickweed scene.
So back to the amputee because
Yeah.
I felt like this
I have
was
a lot of
probably one of the
questions.
most like the most hilarious part of it because like after the sex scene where he just like breaks things off, he immediately goes to a doctor. I'm like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I found that hilarious. I'm like, hey, he knows a doctor right away
Mhm.
who's also available
Mhm.
Yeah.
immediately
And just
in
at
the middle of
his
the night.
office, just
At
in
his
his office.
office.
This is the
And he's
testament
not-
to the British
and-
national healthcare system.
But and then it's like when he
Doctor-
talks
doctor's
about
office is
getting
like a
a new
7-Eleven.
leg, he does not. He's just like wink, wink. I can find one.
Yeah.
It was like slightly seductive. And he's
Well, and
like,
also, like,
I
call
wouldn't
the
ask
police.
questions because
Yeah.
I'm a fucking European doctor. See, that's what universal healthcare does
I
to
like
us,
you
guys.
guys can't see at home. Meg's European doctor impression is talking like that and just extending her arms wide out to the side.
I'm making myself bigger than I actually
Yeah, I
am.
see. The thing that's really struck me about this sequence is like, so they start out, like I said, it's this sex sequence, but she starts really early on, takes his prosthetic leg off and starts licking the stump.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
listen, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. You got a
Right.
stump fetish, do your thing, man.
Yes.
But then
no kink shames.
after that, because so you assume it's a kink for her, right? No. He is very self-conscious about it.
Super.
And she's trying to support him as they're in a relationship, saying like, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't bother me. And he's like, it does matter to me. Maybe
I'm not a
licking
whole
the
man.
stump wasn't the
Right.
greatest move.
Right.
Like if there's this very kind of tenuous, weird thing and you're trying to be comfortable with each other in a sexual environment, here you are, you're trying to get romantic.
Are you giving us the talk right
you
now?
You know he's self-conscious about the stump. Here's one thing you don't do. Don't lick it.
Right.
Don't lick the stump.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
tip number 1: don't lick it.
Yeah. He's
Or
clearly
ask,
he's
ask,
yeah.
Ask. Yes.
Always ask.
But I
Well,
was
here's
like,
the thing is,
he only
if
has-
he's clearly, and you know he's very self-conscious about it, this accident just happened, don't ask either. Just avoid the stump.
Well,
no, like I just like
if
feel
it's
like
a stranger, ask.
he,
Sure.
he, he
Yeah,
was
always
so focused on that he didn't feel like a whole man.
Always
I'm like, dude,
ask.
you only
It's
you only
like
have your
a stranger's
calf.
stump. Sorry.
I must have missed
and
something.
he's just on the idea of asking a stranger
I
to lick
said
their
if it's
stump.
a stranger. I meant a stranger that you are in a sexual relationship with. But Steve turned it around on me as in somebody asking a stranger to lick their stump, like on the street.
Hey,
and that was a
maybe.
very funny
What was that?
comment.
Maybe. I mean, if you see like a nub arm or something.
Yeah, like you're on the train, you go, hey, can I lick that stump?
Is that cool?
I'm pretty sure you're the weird person on the train at that point. No, I just like, okay, he talked about not feeling like whole of a man,
Right.
Mhm.
but I'm like, you literally only didn't have your calf or your your foot. Like
You know
that's
what,
it.
though? But he
Like,
also is like, he's got that armband on, like he's feeling himself.
Right.
That armband is bold. That's something like Prince would
you know
wear.
what would have
like,
been better is if maybe he had a barbed wire tattoo.
They're all.
So I thought he did, but then he stood up and it was like a gold band
Yeah,
thing.
it's just a thing,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I just
weird.
like that. That's
Looks
Also,
like
reminded
something
me too
Cameron
as well.
Diaz would wear in a movie in 1997. You
Yeah.
know?
Also, you guys are like sympathizing, like you're getting into this and sympathizing for him, but
No,
you
I'm
don't-
not at all.
Don't forget that he just hit a bum with his car, and they were doing coke like a Capri
I
Sun.
have zero sympathy for anyone in this
They were
movie.
putting the
I'm going to
straw in
be
it.
clear about that.
Yeah,
But this,
I literally
just
wished
find
it from
every
everybody
ounce
else.
of
Nobody
everything they
likable.
do is hilarious. I
Yeah.
mean, because we have to realize Stump Dude like went and killed someone to get a leg.
Yeah.
But also, did you guys appreciate the like cutesy like love sequence in the park
Yeah.
when he's learning how to walk
This-
again?
Yeah,
This is
and he's
like,
wearing
this
a,
is
a very bold decision to wear the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he clearly brought his own
But
costume
towards
from
the
home.
end-
Instead of saying just wear a black T-shirt. No, San Diego Chargers jersey.
Yeah.
But towards the end, he's wearing almost like this like Cali beachside fucking outfit where he's
Flowy,
just
yeah, real flowy open
I'm
shirt.
just like, this is ridiculous.
This guy makes
like, I
bold
just-
fashion choices,
This-
and I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
This whole
You
vignette.
can tell how he's changing though over time.
Yeah.
He's a changed man.
Yeah.
This whole vignette is like you telephoned the story of David Cronenberg's Crash to someone.
Yeah.
And then
Or you
got-
literally played telephone and you passed it down through
Yeah.
40 people.
Yes, you
Yeah.
passed it through 40 people, and then the last person got drunk and retold the story of Crash to the director.
Yeah, yeah, and he huffed paint with Chris Angel,
Right.
Mind Freak, and the lead singer of him. Here's another hot tip: if you're looking for someone's leg to steal, don't pick someone 6 inches shorter than you.
Right. He got a baby leg.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna fit.
Hey, but I mean, I've got to think in the context. Like, there's not as much social media. He didn't really have as many options.
Yeah.
He had to go with what he knew. You
Right.
know,
Listen, here's
I'm just-
another hot
I'm-
tip
I
for you.
guess
Because see if you can explain this in a way. If you're gonna go steal said leg, and you know you got to put it on ice to take it to the doctor, maybe bring a cooler, not a suitcase.
Yeah. Or put some bags in the suitcase.
Put a garbage bag in the
A
suitcase.
garment bag.
This is
even.
first
It would be
date.
with
Like,
it.
he did surgery on this dude's fucking leg, basically, in the grossest apartment I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, if I was with that dude, I'd be like, you're dumped after 2 seconds. Like, this is so fucking gross. Like, but he did make himself some tea, so that was cute. You know?
I really, the one thing that I found interesting, I don't want to say good or likable, was the insane, like everyone in the movie was like pretty bad actor, obviously.
Yes.
Anywhere from like bad to horrifically bad, except for the cop, Officer Copperfield.
Yeah.
He was actually not terrible. Like he wasn't good.
He wasn't good.
It just reminded me of a Norm Macdonald quote where he's like, they're calling it everything from shit to fucking shit. It's just like everybody's bad to fucking bad.
It's like, yeah.
Like, bad's the baseline.
Like I imagine Norm Macdonald now in that pitch meeting. We're like, we got an idea. It's a movie. It's created by the guy who creates the music videos for Cradle of Filth, and he's like, I got a title for you: Box Office Poison. Did you ever see that when he's on
He's
Conan?
on Conan.
That's such.
What is it? The Carrot Top movie?
Yeah,
But he's
head of the board.
Head of the board.
And they're
yeah.
like, do something with that, you freak. And
Yeah.
he's like, I bet bored is spelled B-O-R-E-D. I love Norm Macdonald. In any case, this kind of all comes to a close in a car accident that is so poorly
It's
staged.
so hilarious.
Oh, so bad.
It's like the car spins in this really. Is it like a model they're using
No,
or something?
not
like?
even. Not
Yeah.
even. It is clearly like a PNG that they lifted from a still shot.
Yeah.
And they move it across the screen.
Yeah.
It is some of the worst, most basic effects that you could do. But I'll talk about it in a little bit at the end. But there's a silver lining to all of this. But yeah, it is probably the worst, most dated effect.
It was so bad.
It's so hilarious.
And then they shoot to a car that they clearly borrowed from someone and put like almost like a prosthetic roof for the car and then cut it up
Yeah.
to make it look like it was damaged.
Yeah.
But they cut it up in like perfect triangles on the
Right.
top. Like it just looked so fucking
It looked like a
dumb.
cartoon cigar exploded.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like.
It's exactly what it looks like. It looks like, in the Looney Tunes cartoon, they give somebody a
Yeah.
exploding cigar.
The girlfriend Daffy Duck explodes her way out of the car.
And then it wraps around a
Yeah,
handrail.
that was definitely very shocking.
She was the worst. So like, if the cop is shit, she's fucking shit. They're really, really bad. But then the cops that come up to the scene, they seem to have no sense of urgency or really any interest in stopping the guy from cutting his leg off
Yeah.
or helping anyone
Or doing
at all.
anything.
They're
Yeah.
just like, I guess we got to call this in. It's not like they stumbled upon a scene of two dead people.
Right.
They stumbled upon something that was a person actively cutting their leg off. They're not like, don't do that. They're
Right.
like, yeah, damn it, I got to call this in.
Son of a bitch, this is a problem.
Again, is like what that should have been like, really.
And just to
Comment.
continue to the end of that scene, the cops are eventually killed by the man.
Yeah.
But Dani
like-
Filth, who we've already established is
Danny
5'3"
with an I. I
on
feel
a
like every time you say it, I have to say Danny with an I. Filth,
Yeah.
who we've established is all of 5'3", and we've already seen compared
that's my
to
height.
women, like he's shorter than women.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot the eye lines for the cop looking up at him.
Like he's enormous.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Ugh.
I feel like
it's gonna look larger than life.
he seems like he would be someone hanging out in that place where all the bad kids hang out. So like buy cigarettes from the Foot Clan in the Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would be with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. And Danny.
And
That was-
Danny. And
yeah,
Danny. Yeah.
different Danny. Probably with an I.
Probably with a Y.
Yeah, it's probably with a Y. That was a good Danny. I love how so I don't know if we're getting to Richard's sequence now, the one with
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
more or
do
less,
it.
if
Let's,
you-
film
let's,
kind of
let's
thing.
just go.
It's so fucking boring. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk
just
about
like
it.
there's
No,
so
that's all
much.
right.
We're talking about it probably for just as long as it felt like the movie was talking about
The
it.
thing that I liked though when he comes in at some point, he's like mad. He comes to his apartment and he kicks the pillow and he like he's really chewing the scenery, but
Yeah.
in such a stupid way. I really got kind of a kick out of that.
I just feel like he always came like I don't know. I mean, I'm a female. I'm a young 30-year-old female.
Mhm.
I'm like, if someone's coming on to me, just being like, just giving me the looks he was giving me, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to try to do something to me. I'm like, the lack of like, oh God. I mean, she just was like so intrigued and like, yes.
Oh yeah.
You're looking at dirty stuff. Oh my God.
Oh, you're watching.
And
Oh,
you're
yeah,
was
watching.
like,
What's
oh
all
my
this over
God.
there?
You're watching. Ooh, you're watching Unknown Russian Soldier. Nice. That's literally what he watched. Did you
I
see
know.
that?
Just hate that.
But yeah, so I love that, cutting way forward, all of a sudden when he decides he needs to find the place where the snuff films are shot, all of a sudden he goes out to this like little hamlet out in the rural, England somewhere. And all of a sudden he walks inside and it's Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
It's Twin Peaks in the cabin with
Right.
like a little person. And it's very, very bizarre.
Do you have an impression of him?
The little person? No, I don't do
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right.
Come on, we have good taste here. We watch Cradle of
Yeah.
Cradle of Fear.
I just
Come
feel
on
like
now.
he was so perfect. He was just like, I don't know anything. Meh, meh, meh.
It's all the same Cockney,
Yeah.
Oh, and what's all this in?
I you know what I just realized that this reminds me of? I was talking about like an infomercial and I was trying to place what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like old when I would have to go to like church lock-ins when I was like 12 years old, and you'd have to watch like Bible Man and
Okay.
stuff like that. It's shot like those shitty
Yeah.
straight to video church
Yeah.
movies.
And so, like, that's an interesting thing about European films when we watch them over here, especially when they started converting more to video. Everything was on their PAL system versus our NTSC, and there's something just very fake
Yeah.
about their PAL film.
It feels like you can see all the seams and everything.
Yeah,
You know
and,
what I mean?
And like the depth of field, it always feels like shit. And, yeah. Because
I know what you mean.
there's a Dario Argento movie, a couple of them probably.
Yeah.
But the one I remember is the Stendhal syndrome. And
Never
it
saw
looks
it.
it looks the same, just trash. And
Yeah.
it's just like it feel bad because like obviously Dario Argento actually knows how to make a beautiful looking film.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, just switch to video is bad for Europe.
Yeah, speaking of absolutely terrible visuals, the final scene where he, goes in and, is going to kill, the cop is going to kill like the Kemper or whatever, right? I love how he goes to take, and all the people in riot gear, they're all wearing hockey pads and welding masks. The riot gear is hockey pads and welding masks.
You can
So
tell where
good.
this film like ran out of money.
Yeah, it felt
different-
like you were in a low rent escape room.
like
for
when
a
you're
second.
when you're watching 10 minutes of a dude just get denied websites,
Yeah.
like that's not exciting
Well,
at all.
and then also the special effects, which I appreciate the audacity to a certain extent,
Mhm.
but when the mind freak himself gets his head half cut in half
Mhm.
and they just Photoshop half his head out kind of thing.
But you know what? I give that one for the time. That was pretty good for
That
the
was-
time.
That's what I say. It
Yeah.
actually, I appreciate the audacity. It doesn't hold up at all.
No.
But like, I get it. Like, that was probably my favorite part of the movie, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Yeah. So here's the silver lining of the film. It's pretty much incompetently made. We agree on that.
Uh-huh.
The director Alex didn't do too much after this.
Mhm.
The cinematographer has one and only credit.
Yeah.
This
These are all positives. by the
the
way.
sound the sound guy.
No one else was allowed to work after this.
Right. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Shut
the,
it down.
The sound guy, had 2 credits after that.
Yeah.
So those are the biggest offenders.
Yeah.
Cast here and there.
Sure.
The special effects department, which I actually think is the strongest. There are some decent special effects all throughout.
There weren't
I will
all
only give
horrible.
that
There
to
were
you.
some really terrible ones, but there were also ones that were like, all right.
I think like the beginning of the film where he tears that guy's head apart,
Mhm.
that's a really good effect.
Yeah.
Generally, any kind of blood spurts or anything are all good. So there's like 5 people listed in the visual effects department.
Mhm.
All of them have gone on and continue today
Yeah.
to work on like giant films.
That's
Good
awesome.
for
Like
them.
1917. One of them's working
Oh, I
on
like
the
that one.
upcoming Batman film, Ex
Wow.
That's awesome.
Machina,
Fuck
Ooh.
yeah.
Hellboy 2. So
That's
like,
awesome.
so
Hellboy 2 is like, I mean, Hellboy is one of the greatest
yeah,
practical
Visual-
effects
yeah.
ever.
That's
you
great.
know, or visual effects on all
I
practical
definitely
effects.
can give it that though. I think like what some of the like what would ever downplay any of this like the social effects would be is like the cinematography.
yeah.
They're just like I didn't comment on it earlier because I just remembered it. It was like some of the times when they would like focus in and they would like definitely like, we want the boob shot.
Yeah.
They're like, just squirt some blood on her tits. Like, just fucking do
Yeah,
it.
don't get me wrong. This film is truly a piece of shit in every
Yes.
sense of the word. So those four nice things,
I will give it
Yeah.
special effects.
Yeah.
And that's
It
cool to hear that people are doing more shit.
It is an
That's
amazing
awesome.
reel for the special effects department.
yeah.
Everything else is so bad. Like
Yeah.
you got to remove the sound if you
I'm
want to
sure
show this to people.
halfway through, they probably were like, "That's all we're going to get out of this. We're
Yeah.
just going to get a highlight reel
Right.
for effects. So
But
let's
they
just
said-
make the
yeah.
best of it."
They totally did.
Yeah,
and
with
they,
a couple
You know what?
like-
One other positive I'll say. Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to interrupt
I
you.
would say just like with a couple of big names, you know, like
Yeah.
at that time, Cradle of Filth and like
Mhm.
whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
I can say one more thing that came positive out of this movie, and that is a line which I will remember for the rest of my life, which is, "That's Detective Inspector." I've rewound it several times.
It's detective.
That's
he's very
Detective
intense.
Inspector.
He's very intense on them.
So yeah, that is Cradle of Fear. Steve, are you happy? Are you happy with yourself?
Yes, I'm happy
Hey,
you're
I
all
am
sad.
not leaving this movie telling you to go fuck yourself. Maybe slightly, though, actually.
I am.
think
Well,
that
I told you to fuck yourself while watching it.
Right.
I will continue to tell you to fuck yourself.
In your notes, it said "fuck you." So
Well, my
It said
favorite-
fuck you, Steve.
well, my
Every-
favorite
so
thing
I
about-
only wrote half my notes because the other half is just fuck you, Steve.
what I liked about is like in some of our text message threads that I pretty much ended last night finishing the movie saying that I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep, and Brian responded with, I was crying shit tears
I cried
basically.
tears of shit.
Cried,
Yeah.
I cried tears of shit.
yes.
I actually, the second this was over, I was like, I need to watch a good movie. So I immediately turned on Dial M for Murder just
There you go.
as a palate cleanser because I need a good movie after this absolute horseshit garbage.
yeah.
Oh boy. Well, listen, we deserve it. We earned it.
Wrap it up.
And next we are going to talk about potentially not horrible things. Actually, you know what? I'm looking forward to this October thing because we might have to watch terrible things again.
Possible.
Because listen, I understand that I've garnered some difficult karma during my reign of champ.
Look, I said if I win again, we can all watch Tokyo Gore Police, and that's a lot of fun.
That's actually been on my to watch
that's been on my
list for
to
a
watch
while.
list too.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a
we
lot of
talked
fun.
about that early on.
I will
But,
be benevolent the same way Brian was, and I'll introduce you to some weird Japanese bullshit that
But
is awesome.
I just watched Hausu last night, so
Yeah.
I'm primed for it. But the other thing that I think is going to happen, and this is where the karma comes in, is I'm going to end up, if we end up with like Halloween franchise, I'm going to draw Resurrection or some shit like that. Like I just know it's going to happen because that wheel fucking hates
There
me.
is some cartoony bullshit in that one. I rewatched it.
Oh my god,
Oh,
it's so
God.
bad.
There
It's
is
probably
some
been 2 or
cartoony
3
bullshit.
years for me, but listen, I love Busta Rhymes, but my god, my god. In any case, before we wrap it up, one more time, if you haven't already, we're going to be putting out a little quiz, or what's the word I'm looking for? A poll, rather. Yes, thank you. A poll to talk about the 3 potential options that we have for our October spooky season roulette showdown. You're going to be able to choose between best/worst of the Halloween franchise, John Carpenter films, or just spooky season horror in general. And then we're going to put a bunch of movies on the roulette wheel, spin them, and figure out what we got to talk about in October. So that should be really fun. So I'll pop that out there on the social medias here, and we'll get that wrapped up. And yeah, we'll announce it for the next episode. So that being said, we'll see you next time. We're doing a little spooky Halloween-themed episode for our next minisode, so keep an eye out for that. Spooky Ookie for the Halloween is Forever Crew. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
See you next time. Bye.